Okay, hey there everybody. Liz Campbell here from Dynamic Intention. Of course, if you're friends with me, which you probably are if you're watching this, you know exactly who I am, but I'm just gonna say this anyway. Liz Campbell, wizard, alchemist, genius hacker, growth hacker, fucking mistress of energy, I don't know, fucking whatever title you want to slap on. Basically, I do whizzy shit with energy, and that's it really. Hey Alice, darling. Okay, so let's talk about the title of this live stream, which I have been prompted to do because I've literally just changed the strapline on my website, because I have had a really, really interesting week where I have literally Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy. Yeah, I have literally there's been a lot of upgrades going on this month. Both me and Anita have been going through this, and we have been also clearing loads of stuff. One of the things that I've cleared completely now is absolutely all of the religious and spiritual programming, all of the family conditioning, all of everything that basically isn't me, isn't anything to do with me, is just stuff that was layered on top of who I really am. And actually everyone carries this shit to some degree or other on this planet, and having all sorts of realizations, you know, stuff that, like, it was always in the background. I always knew that the new age thing, I was always like, there was always something about the new age thing that bothered me. I grew up with a mum who was very into new age stuff, and I was completely like just fucking rejected the whole thing when I was younger. It was almost like I was just like, there's something about this I don't like. And then of course I started having my spiritual awakening, and like everyone, delve straight into it, hook, line and sinker. And now coming out the other side of this, realising, you know, how it's become the new religion to control the masses, where the old religions basically aren't doing it in the same way before. So it's another way to capture people. I could talk at length about this, but I'm not actually gonna bother about that right now, because in actual fact, I'm more interested in talking about, you know, the fact that we are super powerful creators, and that essentially if you're involved in the rules, inverted commas, of all the new age stuff, and you know, all of these rules about how you're supposed to behave and how you're supposed to say things and what you're supposed to do, and and being a light worker, and, you know, like giving yourself all these labels and so on and so forth. Essentially what you're missing is the massively rich palette of the paint box of frequency that's available to you to play with, to paint with, to create your life as art, basically. And essentially, you know, light worker, dark worker, all of this stuff, basically it's more divisive, divide people into two camps, bullshit and nonsense, which denies, you know, the fact that you're everything, the fact that you have everything available to you, the fact that, you know, life is shades of grey, essentially, and it's about, you know, understanding that we're here to experience everything. And when you strip away all the conditioning and the programming and the dysfunction, and there's so much dysfunction, and a lot of the dysfunction is there because of the conditioning and the programming. It's like layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of this stuff that ties people up in knots. Okay, when you strip away all of this stuff, what you come back to is the purity of who you are at your core, and actually what you actually really want to create, and what you really want to do, which you may not have any fucking clue about right now, even though you think you do. even though you've been conditioned into thinking that you're this, that and the other, even though you've fallen down all the fucking rabbit holes that have been presented to you because, you know, this is what happens and it's happened to all of us. Hey Rachel, how are you doing, darling? Did you get my WhatsApp? That was a totally serious question, by the way. And are you going to the knit dart tomorrow? Because if you are, then I think we should get together. And essentially, yeah. Okay, so I've been like, all of this has led me, all of this pondering and stuff, like all of the activations I've had this week and all of the clearing and all of the fucking dumping, just reams and reams and reams of bullshit programming and conditioning and God only knows what else, has really kind of brought me back to the core of like, what am I about? My core frequencies, okay? My core frequencies, what do I want to experience? What are my core desires? I already knew what they were, but it's like stripping away everything that was like literally tangled up with them and causing me to kind of keep almost like going into like self-sabotage mode and fucking myself over, you know, and everyone goes through this, and actually coming back to the purity of what it is I actually want to experience. And actually what I want to experience is a life really fucking well lived. Innovation, creation, that is my jam, okay? And living really fucking well. For want of a better way of putting it, living really, really well. Okay, so experiencing amazing restaurants. Hey Astrid, hey Andrea, experiencing great food, experiencing beautiful people, experiencing amazing hotels, travel, art, adventure, fun, all sorts of entertainment. And like basically it's just like the full scope of what's on offer on this planet. I was thinking about this today and I was thinking, you know what, I haven't travelled nearly enough. Basically, we are at a time on this planet right now where it is so much easier than it has been at any point in history that we can remember. And I'm not talking about Atlantis where there was flying shit and all the rest of it. I'm talking about like in living memory, you know, in any time in recent history where we can literally get to anywhere on the planet really easily. Once upon a time it would have taken fucking months, possibly years, you know. Think about how long it took Sir Walter Raleigh, hey Erica, to discover America. Like I have no ideas. Anyone who's better at history than me can probably answer this, but like he sailed for fucking months. You know, you can get there on a plane in a few hours now. It's bonkers, isn't it? Like, and people don't even consider, lots of people don't even consider the fact that, you know, life, you're here to experience life, all of it. You're here to experience getting drunk, getting high, having amazing sex, being sober, you know, being philosophical, you know, being incredibly creative, inventing new amazing things that better everyone's lives on the planet, not because you want to save everyone, but because you have an amazing idea and you think, shit, I really need to make this because I'm totally fired up about it. You know, anything you can think of, being a mother, being a father, being a fucking lover, brother, whatever, wife, you know, being all of these different things, it's all your choice. Okay, it's all your choice. And essentially it's about understanding that there is no fucking shame in your choices. Like my definition, this is my definition of evil, okay? If we're going to look at evil, my definition of evil is forcing your will on someone else when they have said no. So, for example, paedophilia, sexual abuse, you know, all of these things. War. We don't need fucking war on this planet. I mean, look at what the fuck's going on at the moment. It's ridiculous. And it's because we're so fucking dysfunctional, basically. It's because of all this dysfunction, and it's because of the religious and spiritual programming. And yes, I'm going to say spiritual programming because the spiritual programming is lumped in. All this new age programming is so much mind control bullshit. Okay, and people end up tying themselves in knots and feeling guilty for living, guilty for being brilliant at what they do, guilty for saying they're brilliant at what they do. Oh no, you can't do that. That's boastful, you know, scared that if they say that they're really fucking good at what they do, that they're the best at what they do, that other people are going to judge them and talk about them and be mean about them and stuff. And it's just like, you know, you've got to stop giving a shit what other people think. I will say this right now. I'm fucking amazing at what I do. I will stand up and hold my hand up. You know, I'm like, in terms of energy work, I'm the fastest fucking person I know in terms of actually being able to get to the bottom of the problem and just dismantle it in fucking no time at all. And I'm done being all fucking humble about it and going, hey, well, there's so many people that are so much better than me and da-da-da-da-da. I couldn't possibly stick my head above the parapet. You know, it's fucking nonsense. All that happens when we do this, okay, you know, you don't catch Elon Musk going, I'm a fucking shit innovator, everyone's better than me, do you? And yet in the spiritual community, we see people doing this. Everyone's the same. We can't be in competition. It's just like, you know what? If you decide you're going to be the best at something, then what you do is you inspire people. You inspire people who look at you and go, they're amazing, I want to be like that, okay? And then they pick themselves up and they fucking decide, they make a decision and they go for it, okay? I'm not talking about, it was funny because I was having this conversation with Ivana earlier today and she was saying, oh, but school and la la la. And I said, yeah, but that's different. You know, what we're doing, like at school, it's fucked up. The way that the current school system works is that kids are being trained to be homogenous little box tickers and you have to be good at these things. And essentially, you know, the way that it works is it's not working with a kid's individual strengths and honouring, you know, everyone's got these individual core frequencies. Like magic's one of my core frequencies. So it stands to reason that the energy work I do is going to be super fucking powerful and a lot stronger than a lot of other people's who don't have magic as a core frequency, okay? It doesn't mean to say that I think I'm better than them in general. It just means that I know I'm really fucking good at what I do and I'm not scared of this, and that there's things that they do that are incredible that I wouldn't be as good at. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, but everyone's so fucking scared of offending anybody and of upsetting people, and we must be super politically correct about all of this shit. Yeah, basically. It's like people, you know, I was talking about this in a post I put up earlier, this upper limit problem. It's this humility thing that is basically like, I'm going to say bred into the population. It's programmed into the population. You must be super, super humble. Okay, you've got to say that you're worse than everyone else, and you've got to be super modest. And actually, you know, the upper limit problem where people basically don't want to outshine people around them, and it stops people from actually being in their genius zone. Yes, exactly. You know, and you have your own specific genius zone that is unique to you. Everyone has it. And the whole thing with this is that, you know, it's about actually connecting with your core frequencies, who you are at core. You are your own individual divine expression. Apart from most people aren't expressing who they are as their divine expression. They're expressing what they think everyone else wants them to be. Okay. And, you know, it's ultimately, it's about understanding who you really are, your core desires, your core frequencies, your core superpowers, genius powers, as Anita's been calling them, that are unique. They're completely unique to you, basically. And the stuff that you do when you can tap into all of this properly, what you do, no one else can do in the way that you do it. And yet, you know, the religious / spiritual programming has us all going around doing this whole thing of like, you know, it's a bit like the idea of like people are in a race and everyone finishes, but there's a kid who's way out in front because they're an amazing runner, but everyone gets a fucking medal saying, congratulations, you're a winner. And no one acknowledges the fact that there was one kid who was like literally rocketed past all the rest. You know, it's bullshit. It's just like, essentially, you know, and the other kids on the track, they might not be amazing runners, but they could be the most incredible cooks or fucking, you know, whatever it is. this fear of outshining. And this is the 4 upper limit problems that Gay Hendricks identifies in The Big Leap. Okay, 2 of them are about outshining or outdoing people, either your peers around you or members of your family. Okay, and Gay Hendricks will say, or does say in the book, that he works every fucking day, literally, on identifying when his upper limit problems are coming up again and then battling them. Now, my understanding that's come through is that this is the religious and spiritual programming that's in place, all of the societal conditioning and stuff, and until that's gone completely, you will keep hitting these upper limits and keep having to fight through them and keep self-sabotaging. I think Val Cripps was talking about this. She was saying, she's just things have been going really well. She's done some upgrades on stuff, and then shit starts blowing up at home. Her car needs fixing, blah, 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 blah. This is and obviously she's creating this because there's some part of her that doesn't believe she deserves more. Okay. Right, I need to read these. Yeah. Exactly. And it's total bullshit. I have a feeling, Astrid, you've only scratched the surface with that, darling, reading that. To be honest with you, you can have, I've got 9, and they add up to a very specific kind of overall flavour, and that's the frequencies. And then I have 3 main desires, and then there's my powers. I've got 3 genius powers, which are connected with all the rest of it. Okay, so it's it's understanding being able to tell which sex you're carrying when you're pregnant. That's not a frequency. That's an ability. That's an ability. But delve further. This is what I'm going to say to you. Delve further. You've only just scratched the surface, basically. But essentially, it's life as art. It's so fucking important to understand that your life is your canvas, and that, hey Joe, it is, your life is your canvas, and you are here to paint the richest fucking picture that you can. Okay, and this picture is for you. This is about you creating, I've been talking about this before, your own personal utopia. If everyone on this fucking planet got out of the mode that they were in and focused on clearing up their dysfunction, okay, connecting fully with their core frequencies. I'm going to say reconnecting fully with their core frequencies, because most people are totally disconnected from them because of lots of different things. There's so much that goes into this. And creating their own personal utopia based on their core desires. These are the ones that at soul level, these are your burning desires that you may have not even really fully acknowledged, because you might have some shame about them, because people tell you shouldn't want that, la 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 la, that's too selfish, blah 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 blah. If everyone focused on their creating their own personal utopia, okay, based on all of that, we would live on a planet that's not in the fucking state it is at the moment. You must come and see me next week. Whereabouts are you, Joe? Where do you live? I can't remember having seen where you live on your profile. in Poyenza. Oh, cool. But yeah, essentially we would be living on a very, 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 very different planet to the one that we currently live on if everyone was literally doing what I've just described. Clear all dysfunction. There's so much dysfunction. Holy shit, man. It's layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. Oh, it's Joe Buttons. Right, I was getting confused because you changed your fucking surname on here. I was going to say you need to come into Palma for tomorrow. We've got the knit d'art here. Like, everything's like, there's a whole thing going on here tomorrow night. In Palma. The knit of art. Or night of art. Basically. So yeah, if you want to come over tomorrow, let's go and fucking bounce around art galleries and shit. And other fun and exciting places. Sorry. Why are you saying sorry? Is that about changing your name? Or was that about the fact you're in Poyenza and you can't manage to make it to the knit of art? I don't know if Rachel's still watching. Rachel Oldfield, are you still there? Are you there? Talk to me. But yeah, basically. And, you know, I will say right now, all of my energy work focuses on clearing up all this dysfunctional bullshit and activating what needs activating, connecting you with what needs connecting, and so on and so forth, so that you can be the best you that you are. You know, and I know it's my preference, you know, the people I really want to work with are people who are creative, who are innovators, who know that they're here to create amazing, epic things. People with grand visions, big fucking visions. You know, because I've got big visions. My big vision is, it's funny actually, things have been shifting a little bit this week because of obviously clearing out all this like background shit. But, you know, still underneath, I have some big fucking visions going on. You're going to Leicester to see your friend. That probably won't be nearly as warm, but still fun. She said, oh God, the last time I was in Leicester, fuck. I went to Leicester ages and ages and ages ago to hand out, oh my God, this was for someone I knew who ran like a promotions company, and there's some kind of clothing company they were doing some promotional run with, and I basically got sent to Leicester for 3 or 4 days and stayed in this crappy Holiday Inn and had to go and basically flyer bomb people with these discount things. But I got the best results out of anyone who went up there. This is me being innovator again. It's always been in my blood to do this. Like, so they had teams of people to do all of these other areas. I got sent to Leicester, and the person who was supposed to be going with me ducked out at the last minute, so I was by myself. Now, these discount things, they were obviously marking like who they were marking which shops got the most back and where they were and so on and so forth, and they knew like who had handed the flyers out. Now everyone else who did it, I don't know where they were handing them out in Birmingham and various other places, but what I did was I found out what the Students' Union was for De Montfort University, and I went and hung out on the steps of the Students' Union and handed out to all the students, because all students love a bargain, don't they? And so like offering them like 25%, I think it was, off on clothes, you know that they're going to fucking take it up. And they had like amazing results basically, because I actually went out of town. I got told off for handing these things out in the shopping centre, and I was just like, fuck it, there's another way. Where can I find the kind of people that would buy these clothes? It's got to be the Students' Union. And I basically spent like 3 days handing out flyers to people outside this university, and they had an amazing response. It's quite funny. And then the guy who basically had employed me to do it spent ages and ages and ages not paying me, and I had to chase him for the money and stuff. Yeah, a random fucking story. But yeah, I can remember like I was staying in the Holiday Inn that was literally just off the shopping centre, and it was the most depressing thing ever. Basically, just kind of like that whole area. And it's funny because my stepmom comes from Leicester originally. Hey Ed. My stepmom comes from Leicester originally, and so I used to go and stay there with my dad when I was little. But they lived I'm trying to remember where her parents lived. They lived on one of the bits on the outskirts, and it was really lovely and green, and there was a nice sort of, there was a stately home up the road, and it was really pretty. So this contrast of like staying in this right next to a shopping centre in this like horrible concrete part of town, I was just like, ugh. I can't remember it being like this when I was younger. It was quite funny. No, some of the outskirts are really lovely though. I always remember like Rachel, my stepmom's parents' place. Like they had a big garden, and there was. I'm trying to remember if there was a river. There wasn't a river. I know her dad was a really keen gardener. He was blind. Very keen gardener. Did everything just by touch and smell and stuff. Yeah. And there was this beautiful old stately home up the road that had big fucking grounds and gardens and things. Honestly, I cannot remember for the life of me what it was called. No, it's gone. Essentially. How's your throat, Eddie? How's it doing? Are you still laryngitising? Have you tried any of the many weird and wonderful recipes that people have been posting on your request yesterday? I thought the Manuka honey and fucking onion one was particularly fun sounding. Yes. Rutland. I didn't know it was called Rutland. I was quite young when my dad got together with my stepmum. I think we got married in Leicester. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, I was 7 when they got married, and kind of after they got married, my relationship with my dad sort of fell off a cliff, basically, for various different reasons. But yeah, I can fully understand. It's an interesting thing. I actually come to a place where like I fully understand everything that happened. I fully understand the massive gift that there was for me in it. But at the time, I didn't see it that way. You know, like you're not going to see the gift when you're 7, and like basically you suddenly feel like you get to see your dad once a year, which is what happened. But yeah, and it's funny actually because I love my stepmom now. I really do. I didn't like her when I was younger, and I don't think she didn't like me much for a really long time. Yeah. It was an interesting dynamic. Really interesting dynamic. But yeah, life is art. Life is art. It's the paintbrush. It's like, you know, one of the things I got really, really clearly a few weeks ago is you're not a light worker. The whole light worker thing is bullshit. I was told, grey worker, you are everything. You are everything. You're all of the shades. You're the whole spectrum. You know, why would you cut off half the spectrum? It's just like, shit. And I can remember just going, yeah, this absolutely feels right to me. It doesn't feel right to only be part, you know. And there's a whole lot more to be said about this. I think Anita and I might delve into it at some point if we do a live stream together. She, like me, has been doing a lot of processing over the past few days. So, yeah. We have been talking about live streaming about things, basically. But at the moment, it's just a case of we've been sort of. I know for me today, I've spent quite a large part of the day today working on a client remotely from the beach and feeling absolutely knackered because I was like, literally, I've been doing all this work on myself, and then I was working on clients, and my body was just kind of going, yeah, I just kind of lay down on the beach and was doing it from there, and just connected into the sand and the sea and stuff, because it was the best way to support myself. Yeah, and I wouldn't usually have this issue working with anyone, but it was literally where my body was having a really hard time dealing with some of the upgrades I've had. Yeah, I was joking that I was flatulent Florence earlier. I literally couldn't stop burping and farting. I haven't been like 3 days like that. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Well, it's the whole concept of light work is based on fear, but you know the whole new age thing is based on fear, and it's like it's just all this fear, you know, and all these rules, and all of this. You're not, you know. You must understand. You must love yourself, and you must feel worthy. But you're not worthy, and you're not worthy if you don't follow these rules and jump through these hoops and do these things in this way. It's like, you know. You can see why the CIA played with it from the point of mind control, and you know, and the whole MK Ultra thing. They've been extremely fascinated with the whole New Age thing. They didn't actually invent the New Age stuff, but they have dabbled in influencing it very fucking heavily, you know, for a reason. Because, you know, it's their job to keep people in the wheel of fear and behaving themselves. Mind control for the masses. You know, don't allow people to actually just fucking enjoy their lives and live the biggest possible life that they can, and, you know, understand that in actual fact, you know, all of the beings of, I'm going to call them beings of nefarious intent that hang off of the people who play all this mind control shit, they're interested in the amount of fear, guilt, shame, anger, violence, etc. they can stir up, that they can feed off of. It's a food source. Yes, exactly. It's yeah. And basically, I mean, I will always recommend to people the first Pleiadian book from Barbara Marciniak, Bringers of the Dawn, talks at length about the fact this planet has been used as a kind of like we're kind of viewed as cattle. And a lot of the New Age leaders are like the milking machines, and then, hello, that's okay. Yeah, and then sort of on the other side of that, you have these beings basically drawing through. It's a very interesting thing to get the overview of, when you understand that, you know, there are certain New Age leaders that are literally being used as conduits, who have like followers who are absolutely entrenched in victimhood, fear, helplessness, and so on and so forth, and they kind of keep them pinioned in that place. And yeah, they're the milking machine. It's yeah, and when you start to realise this, you suddenly realise how much you don't want to be involved in any of this shit. It's just like, time to cut the fucking ties, basically. Time to ditch the programming. Time to make things different. I'm going to have to go in a minute, guys, because I do believe there's some kind of a something going on here tonight. I'm at Pulpo at the moment. If you want a little view around the courtyard, here we have bikes and a well, and basically Alex of baby grand piano the other day, which I do believe it hasn't been tuned properly yet, and an electric organ he's bought for this place. So this bit just next to me here is being turned into like the music room. And I came over to Poolpay primarily to change the strapline on my website, which is now Desire Made Manifest Life as Art, because that's what I'm about. I'm master creator, and yeah, life is art. Life is art. And my aim with people that I work with in an energetic capacity is to get them up to speed with their own creation, so that they're not fucking themselves over and sabotaging and doing all the stupid shit, and to co-create amazing innovation with them, or co-create, essentially it's always a co-creation, right? Co-create amazing shit. If I'm working with people on a one-to-one basis, and anyone who's in the group, that I was going to say that's something I'm going to be announcing in the next few days. The ACTUALIZER program is changing. Not even the guys in the ACTUALIZER program understand this yet. But yeah, I'm shaking things up. I'm shaking up everything in my business again. Basically, there's going to be 3 ways to work with me. Either through digital self-study packs where the onus is completely on you. You buy the pack, you go away, you do it yourself. That's it. Boom. It's what you do with it is your concern. Through ACTUALIZER, which is it's going to be turning into a monthly subscription group program, which has a Facebook group, and it has modules. I'm currently fucking around with those, and it's going to be an evolving and growing and ever changing and ever evolving and ever expanding and thing. Okay, and as the name would suggest, it's all about self-actualization, or basically through one-to-one work with me, which is the deluxe option, you could call it, the deluxe option. And I was going to say, Nicole, I'm going to be telling you guys how it's going to work, because there's going to be a thing for all of you who already signed up for ACTUALIZER, and then there's going to be a different thing for anyone new who comes on board. But yeah, I was getting all of this the other day. Yes, things are being overhauled and stuff, but yeah, there's lots of stuff changing. Double excellent. Yeah. And I've also, actually, this is something I will say. I've also had the realisation that at the moment, now this could change, you'll still have access to the course as it stands. If you want to upgrade to the new version, you're going to have to sign up for the subscription, but there's going to basically be an offer for people who already signed up for the existing course. Okay, so you can decide to upgrade, and you guys will get a discount on the monthly subscription on what everyone else gets. Okay, I will come and explain it all to you. I'll do a live stream in the group. Okay, it's the new version. There's going to be quite a lot of stuff. Basically, at the moment I'm rearranging things. I'm deleting stuff. There's new things being uploaded and so on and so forth. And I'm kind of viewing it again as a paint box for me to, create just I just continue to create more epic shit. Okie dokie, cool. And just to let you guys know as well, like I said midnight tonight, but I'm going to leave it running till tomorrow because I won't be here at midnight tonight, and basically I probably won't even fucking remember at midnight tonight. I'll either be passed out, or I might have had a couple of glasses of wine and forget it. I'm going to leave it up till tomorrow, probably lunchtime, just because my computer's here at the moment. The sexual freedom 12-strand DNA activation is on offer for $150 rather than whatever the fucking price was originally. I can't remember. which is also, Christine, you were asking about this the other day, it's part of the Bringing Sexy Back pack currently. Basically, when I upgrade everything, so I'm upgrading all the prices on the, so all of the packs are going up in price, okay, and there's a new, basically there's a new thing that's going to be replacing in all of the packs is the 12-strand DNA activation. It's so it's you can either buy Bringing Sexy Back now for $275, or if you leave it till tomorrow, it will have a different 12-strand DNA activation in it that's more powerful. That's blah blah blah, and it will be the price I keep getting is $444. Basically, these packs are going to be $444 each. So essentially, the choice is yours as to what you want to do. What I will say is that if you're on the ACTUALIZER course, the 12-strand DNA activation that's going into the Bringing Sexy Back pack is actually, because this new one is the beginning point of all my work now, is going to be in the new version of ACTUALIZER. So if you sign up for the new monthly subscription, and so does this make sense? Okay, so the new one is called No More. It's called No More for a whole bunch of reasons. You'll probably get it if you go and look at my website and you look at the shop and you look at the picture. You'll understand what it's about. It's one of these pictures that kind of says lots without me having to explain it, if that makes any sense. It's very much geared to clearing any fucking, well, it's to do with the sexual abuse and trauma and all the rest of it, but it's also about energetic sovereignty, and it's super powerful. Yeah, cool. Okay. So yes, keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, the other thing I was going to add is at the moment I'm taking off the table for people to come and work with me here in Mallorca, simply because I had this sudden realisation that I've had lifetimes of running around trying to organise amazing experiences for people, and I actually really don't want to do that. I'm actually in this place at the moment of just going, you know what, I want to live my life completely on my fucking terms. So yeah, I've been kind of going, people can come and work with me for 3 days and and then there's a month of follow-up. I just kind of went, you know what, until I'm at the point where I can, literally where I'm working with clients where they have literally no issues in me paying a concierge to organise all the details of everything, I'm not fucking interested in doing this. It's one of these, it's either got to be brilliant with no hassle for me, or I'm not fucking interested. Does this make any sense? I'm not here to be a concierge in my life. And I was looking at the requirements of this really honestly yesterday and going, God, it's more of me fucking sacrificing myself to try and make other people happy, when actually, the work I do is super powerful and I don't need to do this. I love the idea of the experience, but I'm just like, you know what, until I've got an amazing, amazing, amazing concierge I can work with who's absolutely fucking with me and will do all the bookings and and I was looking at kind of the pricing, all the rest of it, basically in terms of the pricing I'd have to put on it and so on and so forth. And I was just like, you know what, at this precise moment in time, it just doesn't feel right for me. So I've scrapped that idea for now. I have a feeling I'll come back to it at some point. We're also coming into off season, and trying to organise half the stuff, days in the water from October onwards get a bit fucking chilly. There's all sorts of bits and there's all sorts of stuff to this. I was just looking at going, no, what I want to do is I want to create I was looking at it, Alice, and I was looking at I started looking around, and I've I was looking at all these different options, and I was just like, I was thinking to myself, what I'm going to have to charge for this, basically, in order for me to have what I want out of it in terms of money, in order to make sure everything's covered, in order to make sure all the taxes are covered, and I was just like, to me at the moment, didn't seem particularly viable. Does this make sense? Yeah, I was gonna say it to you privately, but I've actually, you might have noticed, I've taken that web page down off my website. I just fucking ditched it. Was it yesterday? I kind of went, nope, that's got to go for now. It's I'm currently in this space of going, you know, I would be totally open for people inviting me to go and do spots on retreats they've organised and pay me well to do it, and I would be open to all sorts of fucking cool stuff that involve adventures. But I was thinking, you know what, I want to have adventures, but I just want to have adventures for the sake of having adventures. Does it make any sense? I will say as well, Barcelona or Colombia. You know what would be really cool? I'm like, you know what would be really cool? I think that we should, like, you're getting Barcelona or Colombia. I'm like, we should just fucking arrange to meet up in Barcelona and have like a girls' weekend just for fun. That would be cool. Not work related, just fucking go and rampage. Paint the town many different colours. There's a really good gig going on at the W Hotel in Barcelona this weekend. Book a Shade are playing. Saw the advert for that yesterday. I was just like, ooh. Actually, was that next week? I can't remember. Yeah, just purely fun. No work at all. Just fun. And basically, it's yeah. I'm starting. The other thing I'm going to be doing is starting the things for me. I'm creating a thing. I'm not going to explain what it is yet, but it fits in with this whole like adventure, travel, sex, etc., etc. Exactly. Right, anyhow, guys, I am going to love and leave you all. Mwah. Have a fantastic evening. I'm going to go and buy some wine from somewhere. I haven't drunk all week. The last time I had wine was on Sunday last week. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to go get myself a bottle of wine. Right. Mwah. Love.